Hey everybody, this is David Screek. It's like the third time I've done this video because I want to do it right. One was too short, one was too long. So just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I'm doing this around 10:30 in the morning. I'm having, I guess, what they call an Australian Christmas. So basically, it's beautiful here today. We've had this horrible, windy, rainy weather, really almost for 2 weeks. I lost my power for almost 2 days, which is luckily I have a generator, but that's kind of a record. Because this big cold front. Of course, it happened Thursday. Raiders played Thursday night. They scored 63 points and my power's out. Like I said, I was able to watch it because I was running my generator, but, so, it went off around 5 a.m. So not this Thursday, but the previous Thursday. And then it came off on Thursday, and then it came back on. Hear my cat. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's right behind me. I don't know if, so like I said, the power went off, and, baby, and she's rubbing up against me, the love of my life. So the power went off. I think I worked it out. It was 35 hours, but in town I think it was off even longer. Some of the areas in town. So whatever, part of the charm of living on the island. At some point, I'm hoping this year I'll go solar. It wasn't the greatest year for me. It does look like gold's going to break up, but the juniors were still pretty crappy. Kind of stymied my marketing business because me and Mike decided we're not going to be marketing companies right now because the market conditions are just too poor, right? And then I also was transitioning into stock chart of the day, and then I've been giving away all this free content. Like basically, I'm sure a lot of you are getting it. All these pay member updates for anyone who is a subscriber for Addicted to Profits. I think going back to like 2011 or so, you've been getting the lifetime members for free since June. So I'm going to cut that off. I'll talk about that like next year. And then you're going to have to either, get the Patreon membership or get a lifetime subscription. I don't want to talk about the newsletter too much. So hopefully it's better next year. I've had a good weekend in terms of, I'm a big sports, I think everyone knows I'm a big Premier League and NFL fan. And Leeds won 4-0 on Saturday. I won both I'm in a football pool where you pick two games a week. I'm first place right now, and I won both my games this week, so I'm in first place no matter what. There was a 4-way tie. Two of the people already lost a game, so it's going to be at most a 2-way tie now, and there's only 2 weeks left in the season. So let's hope I can win that, and then maybe I'll just post the standings maybe when it happens. Just so it's always good to have a little bit of fun. So just looking around my property. It's funny. I was looking at some old videos that I did. When I first moved here. I moved here in 2011. Well, I moved to Eleuthera in 2011. The house didn't close, so I rented places for about 6 months, and then in January 2012 I moved here. So my friend Mike Swanson came right when I first moved. It's probably February 2012. It was right when I had this huge Super Bowl party. We had tents. It cost me like a fortune. I was like, whatever, the party probably cost me 10 or 15 grand, which I know is ridiculous. Like 200 people came up from town, but I was like, you know what? It's kind of my home opening party. So anyhow, it's pretty ridiculous, but it was fun, And anyhow, these trees over here, they were so tiny. Like these palm trees, the ones, I don't know if you can zoom in, but the ones in the background, they were so tiny. They were just like shorter than me. Like they weren't even 5 feet tall. And now they're huge because we haven't had a major hurricane here. Like I talked about moving here in 2011. So the week after I moved to Eleuthera, my luck, Hurricane Irene hits. And I lived in Nassau it was 2005. I moved to Nassau for 6 years. Never been hit by a hurricane. Direct hit, category 3. Power was out for a week. I was staying at this little rental. And then the next year, October, another hurricane. Sandy had this weird path where it came directly north, and went through Eleuthera, and then did all that damage in the northeast U.S., to the Jersey Shore. So I was like, damn, this is horrible. Then it's been nothing but good luck, like here anyhow. And obviously that's horrible. Dorian happened in Abaco, but Eleuthera has now not been hit for nearly 12 years. That's why all this bush is huge. This bush was a quarter of the size, and it was all brown when I first moved here. Because when you get these hurricanes, they take the salt spray, from the islands, And what they do is the salt spray kills all the foliage. That's one reason in islands like this you don't have these, other than like palm trees which are planted, you don't have a lot of these old huge trees, because usually at least once every 10 or 20 years you're going to get a hurricane and it kind of uproots and kills a lot of these trees. A lot of the big trees, for example, you'll see in Nassau are in the city, and kind of the concrete and the city itself acts as a protectorate of the trees. So, anyhow, but I used to be able to sit on my hot tub with this little slab of concrete out where my cars are. I used to be able to sit on my hot tub and just basically, watch all these cruise ships come. And by the way, that's an industry I don't think has come back. And now I can't do that because it's just all trees. So it's kind of nice because the trees and the foliage kind of protect the house too. So anyhow, I used to sit there. I'd watch these cruise ships come by. I do not see nearly as many as I used to. I think that's an industry that still is never going to really recover after COVID. So anyhow, there's some stories about the property, stories about my life here. Hopefully next year we're going to see, I've positioned myself real well with some pre-IPOs, some financing, some deals I like. And if gold does turn, I think next year is going to be a lot better year. So, this happens in the markets, especially when you're doing, venture capital and financings. You're going to have years where it's just like dead. And then I remember like 2020 and 2021, especially 2020 was obviously 2020 was outstanding for everything after they, cut the rates to zero after COVID. But it was really, I had, Aftermath went from 8 cents to $1.50. We had Newfound Gold in 2021, went from $1 to like $13. So, hopefully we get a few more. And I'm not saying that to promote. I'm saying that because I want a few more deals like that to make some money. Because I'm at the point, because I paid off my house, I need one more kind of score, and then I'm really set for life. Like I can just put half my money in high-yielding dividend stocks and live off the dividends, which is part of the reason I've gone to this lifetime subscriber model. Oh, by the way, that's what I'll end off on here. So for those of you who've been getting all the updates, I have this Patreon page. We have lifetime subscriptions. I'd like to thank a friend of mine in Manitoba. He's been a long-time subscriber. He just signed up for a lifetime. It's a nice little Christmas present. So for those of you who've been getting it, anyone who's a subscriber since 2011 to Addicted to Profits, you've been getting kind of the lifetime list and the members updates going back to June. I'm going to end that probably sometime in January. So if you do like those kind of updates, the access to maybe doing some of these private placements and deals, you're going to have to kind of, sign up for either a lifetime membership or the Patreon membership at the very least. So, and obviously there's the extra bonuses to the lifetime membership. There are posts I do there that I don't put on Patreon. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Beautiful day here. I'm going to start doing a little bit of a barbecue, like it's an Australian style Christmas. I've got some chicken quarters, some chicken breasts, and some steak. I might throw on a sausage. Although I'll give you a little tip. I personally think, and I've discovered this, the best way to cook a sausage, if you have an air fryer, from the freezer, because here we kind of have to freeze everything because our meats are all imported. So from the freezer, directly in the air fryer. And it's just the way that the air fryer cooks with condensed air. It's just like, it will make it like nice and crispy on the outside and super juicy on the inside. And it's almost, to me, it's much more difficult to get that on a barbecue. So there's a little tip for you. Sausages, freeze them, cook them in the air fryer. That's the way to cook a sausage.